Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another AFLW Fantasy pre-lockout chat ahead of round 3. I'm your host, Bales, and you can find me at BalesDT on Twitter. And yeah, we're getting stuck into, and I do that every time, leave my bloody audio on my computer on. And we're going to get stuck into all you need to know ahead of round 3 lockout, which is just under an hour away. So if you guys are listening live in on Twitter or on YouTube, make sure you send through your questions in the comment section of Twitter or the live chat on YouTube, and I'll get to answering all of those. Hopefully, get a couple of people tune in and then jump on. We can have a bit of a chat and help me answer some questions. But if not, we'll push through and I'll get to as many as I can. So, also, if you are listening, make sure you do leave a like on the tweet as well. I think the more likes on the tweet, the more goes out and spreads the word. Hopefully can help grow AFLW Fantasy. And then also make sure you like the video if you're watching on YouTube and subscribe to the channel as well. I think we're only 4 subscribers away from 1,300. So if anyone's listening on Twitter as well, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you just jump over to trulybailshd on YouTube and make sure you subscribe. And let's hope we can hit 1,300 before maybe the game tonight. Then we get 4 more people to subscribe, so then we can hit that milestone. But appreciate everyone's support for the season so far. Right, so let's get stuck into sort of everything that's happening. So I think the biggest question this week is, are we going to Bowers or not to Bowers? I'm in the camp of I'm not breaking my team, but I'm doing a little bit of shuffling to make sure I get Bowers in my side. So the reason that I'm pretty pro getting Bowers in is because she's clearly the number one player in the game, but you just need her. She just scores so much better than everyone else. You can captain her every week, as Cam likes to say, just get 1, you get 2. But then it's also the fact that I know, for a lot of us that have played the men's fantasy game, you we try and look for value all the time, and we try and say that you can't pay up for these players until you get to the luxury sort of trades at the end, and you can start and pass the buys and you start upgrading. But there's very rare occasions where players sort of just that much of a must-have that you just need to pay up for them. And we sort of that love like Tom Mitchell a few years ago when he went back to about 130 averages. We saw Tom Rockcliffe, we saw Dane Swan, even like Brody Grundy as well. So we've seen players that have been must-haves that have been priced highly. And I think Kiara Bowers falls into that category where I think she scores that well that I can't. People are probably worried about her price dropping and whatever, but I can't see her price dropping drastically to 1.2 million in a couple of weeks. It's just not going to happen. She's not. I can't see her going any lower than the 1.4, 1.5 million at best. Sorry, 1.5 million, then 1.4 at worst. Sorry. So I can't see her dropping drastically in price. And even still, over 1.3 million, still pretty hard to get, especially if you're trying to go maybe a rookie or if you've got another midfielder, trying to find the extra 400k. We've even seen this week that trying to get the extra sort of 400 or 500k to go. For example, a lot of people looking at a Swanson or a Conti or a Elise Parker to go up to Bowers. It's still a little bit difficult to find that sort of 500k without sacrificing somewhere else. So I still think it's worthwhile trying to find a way to get her in with. I guess don't break your team. Don't go 2 premiums down to a rookie just to get Bowers in. But for example, the trades I'm doing, I know we go through my trades a bit later, but the trades I'm doing to get Bowers in, I'm going a Jean Ann scoring on my bench down to a Caitlin Pope for Port. Hopefully she gets named. If she doesn't, I'll probably get a Paris McCarthy from Sydney. I'll just get a rookie on my bench, get a couple 100k there. I'm going Emma Carney down to Charlotte Thomas, which I'm not hugely in love with getting rid of Carney. I still think she's going to be a top couple defender there, just be consistent. But I'm getting, I think I'm getting near 200k from Carney down to Thomas, who I think Thomas is still going to be a top sort of 5 to 7 defender anyway. So I don't feel like I'm sacrificing too much in that trade. I'm probably get the same amount of points. If not, I might lose a couple, but I think I'll be getting more points by getting Bowers on the other end. So I'm just actually having a look at Carney's price. So Carney was 875 and Charlotte Thomas is 673. So I'm getting 202k from that trade, which I think is a solid move on paper. Hopefully it works out for myself anyway. But yeah, so I'm happy getting Bowers in that way, personally for myself, and that means that my midfield is Bowers, Marinoff, Riddell, Davian, Benici. So at any point, I can go Davian, Benici to a Prasparkas and Rowbottom, and then I've got my sort of my midfield set pretty much, and that's what I want. So yeah, so that's the trades I'm doing. I'm happy for people to go like someone like I don't even know who would be, like a rookie, someone down a rookie, and then going someone up to Bowers. But I wouldn't be doing more than one rookie. And if you can try and avoid putting a rookie on field, I would. But yeah, one rookie's where I'd be going. So that's my thoughts on Bowers. I think she's a good target as well. So what are the other big? Actually, we'll go through the other sort of most traded players. It'd be good at some point, hopefully in the future, where like with the men's fantasy, you can get like the coach subscription, or if they do it for free. Like it doesn't matter, but I'd like to be able to go onto a page where it comes up with the most traded in and out players. But I know, so Gab Pound is one of them in defence. I know Liam was sort of flagging a little bit that her points might take a bit of a hit when Karen Peterson comes back, and we're not sure when she'll be coming back. It said a couple of weeks ago she was 4 weeks away. It says on the injury report now it's still 4 weeks. So whether that is correct or whether she's back in 2 weeks, I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't mind Gab Pound, especially she looked really, really good last week, pushing high at the ground, and she's still pretty good value. I think she's, what, 757 off the top of my head. I'll have a quick look at that. Yeah, 757. So a good price still, and she'll probably rise a little bit in cash. So worst case, you'll get some cash in and some good scores for a few weeks. So I don't mind her. I know Kate Hoare on the forward line. Pains me to say that she's still a good option. And I never wanted to trade her. Unfortunately, was just to get Bree Davey into. Well, I went Tyner Smith up to Bree Davey, which I still am happy with. I still think I got a good midfield, to put in there. But getting rid of 142 points is certainly not what I was hoping. And Kate Hoare did go up a fair bit in cash. I think she went up about 160 odd K last week. So yeah, she's not going to get 142 every week. But yeah, she was very, very good, and she's a good option. In the forward line, she's one of the other most traded players there. Izzy Huntington's probably the pick of the rookies there. She would be my pick as well. A lot of people are bringing her into their sides, and I would be, but I need a forward rookie. Sorry, I need a midfielder rookie. So unfortunately, I can't actually bring her in, which sucks. But hopefully, I can get her in next week. Just trying to find the other. There was other players. I had got the fantasy photo up. Let me just grab the photo up there for the other players, and I can talk about those, and then move on to some other players. Yeah, Laura Gardner. If you don't have Laura Gardner, as Liam said, what are you doing? He's started so well, and Liam was going on about it all pre-season. But if you don't have her, she's still a very good target. She's averaging 130 over the first 2 games, and that's at North Sydney Oval, which is normally pretty. Not very conducive to fantasy scoring, so she's a good option. Sarah Rowe, I don't think I'd be trusting her. I think if you're playing game day squad, I think she's a good option to put into your side, and like while she's playing well, and you can sort of hope that she can do that. But I don't know if you're trading her into salary cap formats and sort of banking on she'll be going well. She's started very, very well, and you never know, she might continue going really, really well as well. But she does play on a wing, which can sort of be very up and down for scoring. So for me, I'd probably just give it a pass, I think, and I'd go to a Phillips or a Roberts, who are a little bit more expensive. Like they're just under 900K, but I'd much trust their roles in their respective sides more than what I would trust Sarah Rowe there. And Matilda Schultz as well. If you don't have her, 664K starting to get up there in price, but when you do look at it, she is in terms of averages for rucks, she is the if I get it up, I think she's the fourth highest averaging ruck behind Mimstrom, Ali Morpher, and Alice Edmonds. So she's going very, very well. So I would be actually wait. It says she's averaging 79. Oh no, okay, sorry, no, my bad. I just read the screen on. But yeah, so Matilda Schultz, still good option, still got some cash to make, but she's not the sort of the must-have player that she probably was at the start of the year when she was so cheap. So they're the sort of the top 5 most trading players when the fantasy guys put the photo up. But I'll just go through some other defenders here. Sorry, defenders and mids and rucks and forwards, all the positions, and we'll go through some good options. And Stannard has had a good start. I don't know, again, if I'd be paying up now. She's way too expensive. She's one of the top price defenders, and 2 games she's gone really well. I don't know if I see the big scores continuing. I think she could put up some lower scores. But if you're confident, I guess you could go there. But I would prefer a fair few options in defence just because there's a lot of other cheap options that have either lost cash or that are just good options. Harriet Corner, I wouldn't be probably doing it now. 692K. I know she started well, but she has made 388K already. So I wouldn't be bringing her in banking on that she's going to make that much cash anymore. So I would just be probably letting her go if you didn't have her and looking at probably other options. Like, for example, Charlotte Thomas, who I'm bringing in, she's a little bit cheaper than Corner, and she started as one of the sort of the premium defenders. And the only reason I think she's so cheap is because she had that 36 in round one where she only played 60% game time, but she got stuck on the bench when the ball got stuck on one side, and she also went off for I think it was a blood roll or something, or she went off for a bit of a niggle. But then she was okay after that. So yeah, I would trust Charlotte Thomas more. As opposed to some other options. Tani Evans, if you don't have her, even though she's the most expensive defender, I'm still happy paying up for her. She looks like she could be the number one defender this year. Played 100% game time as well last week, which is fantastic. She's getting away 6 free kicks the first 2 weeks. So those two scores could have been a lot higher. Like that round one could have been 100. Last week could have been closer to a 90. So hopefully she doesn't give those free kicks away in other weeks. So I just had to cough. When I mute, I probably got a cough. Just still got that little tickly throat. Just quite slowly getting over the cold that I've had for the past week. But we're nearly there anyway. But yeah, so Tani Evans, I really like her. Sarah Lampard, a little bit of a pod that you could go for, but I'm not as convinced that her scoring can be maintained. She got a 48 in round one, then 110 last week. So you can just see like the up and down scoring just from the 2 weeks alone. So I would be giving her a miss. Daisy Darcy, very good option, especially with Kalina Howard's going down. Daisy Darcy, sort of going to be Gold Coast main distributor back there. 67 and 78, 2 pretty solid scores to open the year. And I think she'll be scoring around that sort of 70-ish mark, especially with Howard not inside. So I do like her under 800, under 800K. Bresnan, again, don't mind because North Melbourne are going to score points. I think she's probably, her and Carney are probably sort of eating into each other's production in a way because they both scored pretty similar. Bresnahan's gone 69 and 74 in the first 2 rounds. And Emma Carney, I'm just trying to find her. There she is. She's gone 75 and 63. So they've essentially gone the same in the first 2 rounds. So yeah, I don't mind Bresnan if you're looking at someone as an option. There's probably other people I'd probably rather, but she's in a good team for scoring, so I do like her. For apologies, guys. Hannah Priest as well. I'm still don't mind her. She's over 100K now. I'm just not sure on the role. Just the role sort of can change week to week, which that's my concern anyway. She's played midfield in the first 2 rounds, which is good, but I'm just a bit concerned that she could just go into defence at any point. So, yeah, I'm not too sure with her. Who were some other options here? Isla Sheeran. A few people be talking about trading her out. I wouldn't trade her out personally. I know that she only got a 59 last week, but played 100% game time, which is great. But she did give away 4 free kicks, which I know has been a bit of Sheeran's problem in her career. She does give away the odd free kick, but yeah, I don't mind bringing her. I still don't mind bringing her in, even though people are trading her out. I still think she'll be one of the top few defenders going around, and I don't think compared to last year, I don't see her dropping a 20 or a 30. I see her being pretty consistently over 50 points, and we know she does have that ceiling to go like 80, 90 plus. So I still don't mind her. Moving on to some of the midfield options that we didn't discuss. So get rid of defenders there. So yeah, Jazz Garner averaging 138 the first 2 rounds, been fantastic. Yeah, I like her as an option. Especially if you've already got Bowers, if you can get Bowers, Marinoff, and Garner in your side and lock them in, you're laughing. You've got those 3 midfielders probably before a lot of people have got maybe 2 of them or even 1 of them. So a few people have gone a few different midfields there. But yeah, Garner, really good option if you don't have a Charlie Rowbottom as well. I guess if you want to put any sort of flag on her, that's probably the one flag. But I don't see that as an issue. I think that she'll score well against anyone. She's just an absolute machine. So I like her. Ash Riddell, I still like. She's still under, what's her ownership now? 6.4%. So she's getting a little bit up there. She was under 6%. So she's got about 1% since since the start of the year, I think, or 1.4%. I think she's just over 5% at the start of the year. Jenna Bruton's meant to be back this next week, I think, or the week after, or next couple of weeks at least. And then I think they've got Brisbane in a couple of weeks. They've got a couple of tougher matchups coming up. But I don't think that's going to be a huge issue for Riddell. I think she can score well against anyone. I don't think Bruton's going to matter too much. Riddell still averaged 99 a couple of years ago with all those midfielders there. So I still think she'll be fine. Maybe you're not going to get the 150s, but maybe I think you'll still get some very good scores. So I still like her as an option if you're looking for a bit of a pod in the midfield. Marinoff, we know, is a great option if you didn't have, but a lot of people have got her already. Georgie Prasparkas, I wouldn't read too much in last week. North Sydney Oval, very tough ground to score, and she did get attention as well. So I would just be putting that down to a lower scoring game. I think she'll be back up to her high scoring ways again this week. Plays high time ground, which is great as well. So yeah, I would be looking still at her as a target and not reading too much in last week. Bree Davey, probably not the best option that you can get now, just because she is near 1.2. She's not the value midfielder that she was at the start of the year. I still don't mind bringing her in. I think she's still going to be very good. But if you're bringing her in now as a premium mid, you're not bringing her in as a mid-price midfielder. So. Apologies, guys. Claudia Whitford, I think I'll probably put this one probably a little bit more down to the two good matchups to start. She's gone 104, 125. So she's been good. I know Warney jumped on her. So been good for cash. And she made like 300K in the first 2 weeks, which is great. So I don't think I'll be bringing her in over some of the other options around this price. I would still be looking at other options. But if you did jump on at the start of the year or last week, you'd be very, very happy with how it's going so far, and you're not jumping off just yet. I really like Amy McDonald as a pod in the midfield. Everyone's talking about, obviously, Georgie Prasparkas, and rightly so, but I really like Amy McDonald as a differential option in the midfield. She's, again, consistent. She got a 127 first week. She got an 85 last week, so a little bit down on her normal height. She did give away 3 free kicks I'm seeing here as well, so that would have put up near 100. So yeah, I still like Amy McDonald as a good pick in the midfield there. I like Maggie Prasparkas, not talked about as much around the fantasy circles at the moment, but 97 109 to start the year, so not setting the world on fire, I guess, to start, but I do think she's just consistent and she just finds a way to get it done. So I like her as well. Mon Conti and Lise Parker, I'm probably in the camp of I'd be happy to trade both. Conti will probably get tagged by now I've lost the name. Who were Richmond playing this weekend? GOS. So she'll get the Lister tag there. So again, I don't think it's gonna make her score a 50 or anything like that, but I think she'll be down on her usual output. So I would be potentially going her to Bowers. That's a good move. That you're going to need 450K to get that done. But I think it's a good move to do something like that there. And then Elise Parker as well, just playing too much forward for my liking. So I would be looking to move her on and get that sort of move done. Emma Swanson, I wouldn't really want to be training her. She's got a great match this week against Carlton. I think the lowest score last week was down to a tag and playing a bit more forward. I think she's still going to be just consistent as anyone in the midfield. I just think getting Bowers in for me, I think it's a worthwhile sacrifice. If I wanted to go Bree Davey out instead or Benici out, I'd have to be going instead of going a Pope in, I would have to be going like a Roberts down instead of a Carney down, or I have to go Carney down to a rookie. So I think that the sweet spot is probably Swanson for my own team. But I still think Swanson's going to be one of the better midfielders in the comp, and I'll probably look to bring her back in at some point down the line as well if I've got that sort of midfield spot and she's the one that can fit in there. I reckon that's it for the midfielders. There's probably some other options, but there's a lot of midfielders. So a lot of good midfield options. Moving to the rucks, as we said, Matilda Schultz, great option if you didn't have her. But if you're looking to pay up, Mim Strom looks really, really good. 112 and 92 to open the season, 25 and 28 hit-outs in both games. So she's just consistently getting her 25 odd hit-outs for the first 2 weeks. She's getting a little bit of the ball around the ground. She's tackling. She's doing everything. So I like her if you're looking to pay up for a ruck. If you're looking to get a bit of a mid-price ruck there, Ali Morfitt has looked really good, 94 and 86 in the first 2 weeks. Again, she's gone 29 and 34 hit-outs in the first 2 weeks, giving away 7 free kicks in the first couple of weeks. Also, they could have been a bit high scores as well. So hopefully she can get those free kicks away and she can start going near 100. But I'd almost get her over Mim Strom, probably to save the 300 odd K, 222K difference between the two. But I think both are good options. You're paying up. Alice Edmonds is dropping a little bit in price after 65 last week. She might drop a little bit more. I still think she'll be the number one ruck based on what we saw in round one and what we've seen last year. So again, if you look between Mim Strom and Edmonds, you probably look siding with Edmonds, but I think all three are good options anyway. Maybe you go more to save the cash, and then you can wait for Edmonds to drop a bit more. Then you can maybe make a switch if need be in a few weeks' time. They're probably the main rucks. There's probably those you're looking at those four, and probably those four alone. They're the ones averaging over 79. The rest of them, like Kim Rennie's averaging 72. I just don't think I'd be going there. Gab Seymour averaging 71.5. If Poppy Kelly was out for the rest of the year, I'd be saying that she's a good option, underpriced. But I think with Poppy Kelly still there, I would be probably looking at other options as well. Looking into the forward line, obviously Kate Hall's a good option. Unfortunately, as I said earlier, I'll trade her out, which is fantastic. Laura Gardner, great option if you don't have her. One of the best forward options going around. I said averaging 113. That was my apologies. She scored 113. She's averaging 106.5. So I was looking at last week's score. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably would have realised that after, but just sort of correct myself there. But yeah, Laura Gardner, great option, could be the number one scoring forward, and she's just going to keep getting more expensive. So who have we got here? Bonnie Toogood, averaging 92 over the first 2 weeks. I think she's like sort of your typical key forward. She sort of gets high at the ground, so gets involved sort of just in everything. 103.81 to start the year. A couple of really good scores. Got the Crows this week. This will be probably a good test to see if she can go well again against a good opponent. And if she does, then I think you can have that bit more confidence. But I still don't mind her there, but she's $1 million. I'd rather probably a Hall, Gardner, Morrison, Malloy, a few other options around her price. But I don't mind Toogood if you're looking a bit of a differential there. Neve Kelly, she's been very good to start the year, gone up a fair bit in price. It sort of seems like she'll get the Mia Bush sort of attention. I don't think it's good. I don't think she's just going to go and put up a 20, but again, can she keep this consistency up? Because she's been good the first 2 weeks, but can she keep it going? That's probably the big question. So if you've got her, great. If you don't have her, I'd be probably going another option like a Roberts or a Phillips over her and just watching how Neve Kelly goes this week, and hopefully she can go well. There's a lot of other options that have started sort of pretty well. Lucy Single, if you're looking to bring in an underpriced forward that can make a little bit of cash as well, 765. I'd like her as an option there. Megan Kaufman, I like as well, especially with Gabby O'Sullivan going down. She only played 58% game time the first game and scored a 71. So, again, I think that game was just a lot of players got stuck on the bench for long stints. So, I'd like her as a bit of a pod in the midfield. I think, in the forward line, I think she'll be playing a bit more in the even more so in the midfield now with O'Sullivan going down, and she's owned by less than 4%. So, yeah, I do like her. And then probably just your usual sort of suspects like Ella Roberts, Dana, Erin Phillips, maybe a Dana Hook. I know she didn't score great last week, but could be a bit of a still not a bad pick. Ones like that. I know Nicola Barrs started pretty well as well, 69.78. Could be a bit of a pod there as well. There's a few options there to consider. What did Dustin only get last week? 51. So a little bit less than what she got in the week before. So yeah, they're probably the options that I like across the positions. Give me 2 seconds. I just got to I'll be back in 2 seconds. Just got to sort of just clear up my sinuses. Give me a sec. Hang on. All right, I'm back. So, yeah, apologies. Of course, perks of having a bloody cold and trying to do a Twitter space. So, be good if if I had a sort of a co-host that I could sort of hide behind the fact that if they're talking, I could do that. But anyway, we push on. Let's get into some of your questions. If you're listening live on Twitter or on YouTube, make sure you send through your questions that you guys have regarding trades, captaincy calls, and everything this week, and I'll get to all of those now. Actually, I'll quickly go to the captains while people send in their last sort of questions there, and then we will answer all of those and answer questions right up until deadlock, not deadlock, lockout at 4:35 my time. So it's 5:05 Eastern, 3:35 Western Standard Time. So let's have a look at the captain options. I think it's pretty obvious who number one is going to be for. It's probably going to be that as well. Did he put up the captain's call on DT Talk? Don't know if he did actually. Because normally Liam puts up his thing on there, but maybe he didn't. It doesn't look like it's. Oh, hang on. No, that's captain's call round 2. So okay, yep. So so you didn't put one up. So actually, we'll go to. I know that him and Sliding Doors do their captains each week. So if you haven't followed Sliding Doors on Twitter, it's at Sliding Doors AF. Didak and Jackson, or JS and Jackson, doing really good work over there. So their top 7 captains for the week. See, no surprise, Cara Bowers up at number 1, projected score of 145. Last time played Hawthorn, 184 points. Number 2, and she's just a standout option. Number 2, and is probably going to be the most common VC into C combo this week, is Ebony Marinoff at number 2, projected for 135. Last time she played Essendon, so I don't think she played. Yeah, she hasn't played Essendon yet. So, but I think Essendon's a pretty good matchup there for her. Charlie Rowbottom at number 3, projected for 130. Hasn't played Collingwood in her career yet. So we'll see how she goes, but she's a very good option there as well. Collingwood do give up points. Number 4 is Jazz Garner, projected for 125. Scored 102 last time she played Geelong. I believe that was in the final. So, yeah, I think she'll be very good once again. If you've got her, could be good. Will be a very good VC option tonight to go potentially into Bowers tomorrow. Or is it? Or does Bowers play tomorrow, or does she play Sunday? I think Bowers plays tomorrow after. Well, sort of afternoon. Georgia Precise, number 5, projected for 120. There, she scored a 45 against North last time. I'm pretty sure she got injured in that game. So, I wouldn't read too much into that score. That's for injury purposes, I'm pretty sure. But I think she'll be back over 100 again this week. Ash Riddell at number 6, projected for 110. Last time she played Geelong, she got 72. It's a little bit lower there. She was a bit down last year, but I expect her to have a good game tonight. And then Anne Hatcher at number 7, projected for 105, hasn't played Essendon as well. So, and then they've got honourable mentions, Bree Davey, Amy McDonald, Emma Swanson. So Amy McDonald could be a very good pod tonight, but it is a bit of a tougher matchup. So I'm not sure if I would be sort of going out and sort of going for, unless you could go have VC in the Bowers if you're looking doing something like that. So, but yeah, all right, let's get stuck into some of these questions, because my trades are sorted across the formats, which is great. So the only thing I've just got to watch out for is if Caitlin Pope isn't named for Port. I'll probably then have to just actually, what I should do, I should reverse my 3 trades in official. Then I should go and put the trades in now, because Carney's got to go to Thomas before lockout. That's the one I've got to probably lock in. So I'll just quickly fix this up first, and then we'll get to some questions. So Thomas will go in there. I'll just confirm that trade. And then I'll put in as if I'm about to do a trade. So Nan's gone to Pope, and if she doesn't play, it will be McCarthy. And then the other one was Swanson to Bowers. So there. Sweet. All right, so that's all ready to go. As long as... Oh, hang on, why has it done that? Bloody stuffed up now. Farris, come on. Yes, Nan's gone out, and I want Pope in for Nan's score, not for Swanson. There we go. Swanson, and then bring in Bowers. All right, sweet. Okay, that's all fixed now. Good. I don't know why it was stuffing up like that, but anyway, let's get stuck into some of these questions. So the first question comes from Jake's in Oz. G'day, Bales. Trades are currently Carney, Aaron Hoare, and Nance Gorn to Gab Pound, Ty Smith, and Huntington. Leaves 400k in the bank next week for upgrades. Okay to bring Smith back in this week after trading her last week. Cheers. I think Smith is still good to bring in this week. What's she actually priced at? Let me get her price up. She is priced at... Why did it not save when it put Smith in? Just had it in and just disappeared. 465. Yeah, so she's still good to bring in. I think she's still got cash to make, which is good after getting that 77 last week. And what were the other moves? Yeah, so Nan's gone to Smith, I like. Aaron Hoare to Huntington, I like. Carney to... I'm not sure if I'd just go Carney to Pound just for sort of... Because you got that third trade. I'd probably use that 300 odd K that you've got if you can do some other move. Like, can you upgrade whether it be a sort of mid-priced or lower price print, can you get a better player in that way? Like, can you maybe make something about that? But the other two trades I like. It's just, can you figure out something else? But again, I don't mind Carney to Pound if you're looking for a bit of cash, and if maybe that's your plan on getting Bowers in a week or two, but maybe I don't know if I'd go Carney to Pound. I'm only doing it because it allows me to get Bowers in. Brisbane Buds Fantasy, thoughts on Hamilton to single, Hickey to Red Dot Ruck, put Schultz on field, and then Benici to Riddell. I like it, mate. I'm not sure I'd be going Benici to Riddell, because you going Hickey all the way down, you should have a fair bit of cash. So I'd prefer, instead of going Benici to Riddell, I'd prefer to go a rookie up to a better player. So if you can make that work, mate, I'd prefer probably to do that. But the first two trades I don't mind, especially the restructure. Damon Huntington on field, I wouldn't. I'd be leaving her. I'd be making sure she's on the bench. Again, she's good for cash, but I would be keeping her on the bench. And she's still a good option. I'll just, on the bench for me. Coach K, high bars, Carney to Lister to afford Davison up to single. Schultz, only remaining rookie on field after trades. A move like this is not a bad move, because especially with Davison being injured, you probably don't want to put a rookie on, and you'd rather probably Lister and single over having Carney and a Huntington, for example. So I would tick it off. Preferably if you could go single up to someone else instead of, because I'm assuming going down a list, you might be able to go. I don't know if you go Davison up to a Phillips or a Roberts. I'd rather those, but if it's single is the best one you can get to, I still like those moves. Mime AF, hey Bales, thoughts on who to give the VC to tonight? Have Garner and Riddell. I think the obvious answer is probably Garner, just because a lot of people probably will go for Marinoff VC, so it's still going to be a pod either way. If you want to go real unique, I think Riddell won't sort of get any attention, so I could just see Riddell sort of racking up there, but Garner's as safe as anyone, so I'd probably be going Garner out of the two of them, as much as I love Riddell, and Sliding Doors did have her at number 4, I think it was, so... Filsey, thoughts on Benici to Whitford as the third trade in case potential tag comes in, or just cash some money and go Postlethwaite down to Huntington? I would just be going Postlethwaite down to Huntington. I wouldn't be trading Benici to Whitford, I don't think. I think they're going to score the same. If not, Benici's going to score more. So I would be going and cashing up and getting Huntington, and then maybe doing a better upgrade next week. going to YouTube for a few questions here now as well. Jeremy Choi, hey, Bales, loving the content. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. Anthony to Whitford or Davey or Lister to Pound? Ooh. It's a tough one because how much is Anthony making at the moment? So Marianne Anthony, she went up 193k last week, and that was scoring a 69. I still think she's probably got more cash to make than what a Lister's got, and I think it'll be a lot better. So it's probably going Lister to Pound, but I think you're getting the better player by going Anthony to Davey. So it's a very hard one. I can't split it because I think I'd rather Davey, but I would probably rather have Anthony on field than Lister. So I'll probably side with going Lister to Pound. But be interesting to see if you guys are watching, wherever you're watching or listening. Let me know. That's actually a really good question, quite a tough one. So, yeah, if you could do both, that'd be great. But I doubt you could do both. Hugh, Pound is a value option there, and I reckon high scoring defenders are hard to come by. Best on debut for this round. Hopefully it's Huntington for a lot of people. Hopefully for me it's Pope if she gets named. There's a lot of debutantes this week. They're probably the two that stand out. If for me it's probably Huntington, and then if I don't mind Erica Fowler, she's been named in the ruck for Collingwood and a 300k defender, so she might be my pick in defender rookies. And then in the midfield, if Pope doesn't get named, it's probably going to be Paris McCarthy for me. I know Wicksteed got named for Richmond, but I probably trust that McCarthy might be able to stay in Sydney's team longer because Richmond are a very strong side, and I could just see Wicksteed being sort of shuffled out next week. So I would be going for McCarthy there. Next one comes from Connor Johns. Carney to Lister, Nanscorn to Ty Smith, and then Swanson to Bowers or Nanscorn to Ty Smith, Hoare down, and Amy Smith up to Priest. I think, yeah, it's the Bowers option. It's getting Bowers in. I know Swanson's probably going to be better, and probably training Amy Smith is probably the better play, but I would be going the first option, going Carney to Lister, Nanscorn to Ty Smith, and Swanson to Bowers. If you could, Connor, I'd prefer to almost go like a list that actually no, probably because you probably don't have any other options to play on field. So yeah, the option you could consider is you could go Nanscorn down to someone cheaper, like a Pope, like I'm doing, and then maybe you can go someone better than Lister. But it just depends what option you're looking at. Like if you could go Charlotte Thomas instead of Lister, and that's by going Pope or McCarthy instead of Ty Smith, I'd prefer to do that. But it'll sort of depend on what you can do, but I prefer the first option. String Bean, afternoon Bales. Hope you didn't skip leg day today. String Bean always coming in with the funny comments, mate. Other than Huntington, what's the next best 300k rookie option? I don't know, maybe McCarthy and Erica Fowler. They're probably the two that I'm probably thinking of. Wickstead's another option there as well. There's a few 300k rookies actually being named this week. They're probably the ones that I think are the best ones. I'm going Pope, which she's 3:14 as she gets named. So obviously just waiting for teams to be announced in 14 minutes. Only gives us 5 minutes before lockout. So that's what I'm doing at this stage. But yeah, it's probably Huntington, and then it's probably then like your Fowlers and your McCarthys and stuff like that. Smith's Chips, who would you trade Davey out for? Would you trade Davey out for Bowers or Swanson out for Bowers? I think it's Swanson, but it's tough because I think they're both going to be sort of fairly similar. Maybe you go Davey out instead. I don't know. It's very, very hard because Swanson, I think, would be better than last week, but with West Coast sort of being sort of bad and them shuffling the magnets around, Swanson can be shuffled a little bit. We did see on the weekend, whereas with Davey, we know where she's playing. She's playing midfield, and that's it. And I don't think it's going to matter if she gets attention or not. I think she's just too strong and just too good to get away from a tag. So I think it's Swanson out, but it's close. and other people will probably say Davey out first and Keith Swanson. Smith Chips, I think you just answered my question. Oh, there you go. Because I'm just reading through the comments. Tom Young, Kira Stratton. I don't think I'd be looking at her now as an option. I think with Tamara Smith back in for Hawthorn, they've now got their midfield mix back. I can't see Kira Stratton playing Christy Stratton. Sorry, apologies for getting the name mixed up. Yeah, I know she got 72 last week. She got a 48 the week before. She got to 526. For me, that's probably a bit expensive for looking at her as an option. I would be going for another option, I think. String Bean, why are you impressed with Pope as a rookie? Well, she hasn't played yet, but it's just from what Liam was saying and from what they've heard in the preseason from Port, she was one of the names they talked about, and that she looked like she could be a player that plays a Port and goes all right. So I'm sort of just basing this on what Liam said because he's got a lot more sort of knowledge of rookies than what I do. So I'm just sort of going based on what he said. And yeah, I think there is a spot in that team for her. Yeah, that's probably the reason why I think I'll just pick her. She probably just sounds like she would be the best option. Connor Johns, instead of Nance going down to T Smith so I can go Swanson to Bowers, should I instead go a cheaper rookie instead of Ty Smith so I could go Benici up to Bowers instead? If so, what rookie mid below 400k? No, I'd probably keep Benici. I think she's got easier matchups. So I would keep her, and I'd rather get Ty Smith for the cash gen. So yeah, I'd be holding off on trading Benici and go Swanson up to Bowers and get Ty Smith instead. Swiss Chips, thoughts on Daisy Darcy for Carney? Yeah, I like it. Yeah, if that can fund another move elsewhere, I think Daisy Darcy will be good, and she could be a top 5 defender from here with Howarth not on the side. So, yeah, I think she's a good option. Connor Johns can go Nanscorn to Pope and Carney to Thomas instead of Lister. Do you think Thomas will be better? Just wondering because Lister playing mid. Yes, yeah, I think Thomas is going to be better than Lister because, for one, we saw Lister be laid out. And then two, Thomas had one poor game round one, but she was better last week, but they got belted. So I think Carlton this week, better matchup. I could see her returning to with a 70 or an 80 this week. So I would actually be going the cheaper rookie in that scenario and getting Charlotte Thomas in just because I know the cash gen might be there with Ty Smith, but I'd rather get the better player on the field now and sort of bank on the fact you've got a top sort of 5 to 7 defender in your side than having a player that you still need to make some cash there. But then again, you could always have Ty Smith, makes cash, go her down, Lister up. But I just prefer to get Thomas in now while you can and do it that way. Going over to Twitter for some more questions. Jason says to upgrade Phillips to Hoare or Morrison. It's probably Kate Hoare after last week, after seeing what she did. I think Morrison's probably got the more midfield time role, but then Hoare's not going to have these bad scores she has had in previous years because they do have Zanker and Harris playing sort of more deep forward that Hoare's not relied upon to be staying so deep forward now. And they've also got like a Casey Sheriff that plays in the forward line as well, so I don't need Aaron Hoare to be so deep. So I'd probably be going Aaron Hoare out of the two and then upgrade Benici or Swanson to Rowbottom or Riddell. I don't know if I'd be going Benici or Swanson to Rowbottom or Riddell. There's probably another trade you can use that 300 odd K that is a difference or a couple hundred K elsewhere. Yeah, it's probably about what? You've probably got 250 odd K in the bank. I'd prefer to use that on top of maybe a mid-pricer or a rookie, maybe try and get up to a mid-pricer or then get a mid-price up to a premium, personally. But if you can't do anything and that's the one option you've got, I'd probably go... It's probably Benici to Rowbottom, just because I think... But then again, I said that I wouldn't trade Swanson. I don't know. It's so tough with these midfielders because I'm sort of like, well, you get rid of Swanson, she'll score more. You get rid of Benici. Probably Benici does go, actually, thinking about it now first. I think Swanson's probably safer, but yeah, it's tough. It's very tough. Tyler, who scores more points, Lister or Goldsworthy? Think about CBAs and their roles. Yeah, I think I'd go Lister for the fact that there's more high-scoring forwards and Lister's got more cash to make and Goldsworthy can be very, very up and down. We haven't seen what Lister's like in back-to-back weeks. She got a 55-week one with 11 tackles. Can she back up with a good score this week? I'm not sure. We'll have to see how she goes. I think she can still go okay playing midfield, but I would prefer Lister in my side over Goldsworthy. And Corey Blackledge, what do you think about Swanson to Bowers, Davies to Huntington, and Nanscorn to Paris? McCarthy. Yeah, I like it. Yep, I like it. Yep, I'll tick those off. Yeah, I like Huntington as the rookie option there. Nanscorn to McCarthy's also good. I like that as well. So, yep, I like those trades. Tick them off. Mitch Finn, need to get rid of Darcy Maloney. Like you, I traded out Hoare. Yeah, I know the pain, mate. Do I just bring her back in, or is there someone else between 770 and Hoare that you'd bring in? Well, I think if you didn't have Gardner, I'd go Gardner first. I think if you did have Malloy as well, I'd probably go Malloy just with that midfield role. I'd rather get her into your side. Besides that, though, I think it's probably Hoare's probably next. I think it's probably those two and then Hoare. So if you've already got Malloy and Gardner, which you probably do, I would just go and get Hoare back in if you've got the cash and you can do it. I'd be happy with doing something like that. George Treloar, have one too many defenders, own Heads, Sheeran, Carney, Cordner, Evans, Stannard, and Scanlon on utility. Thinking of Carney to Pound and then Postlethwaite to Huntington means I would get Stannard to Whitford or Shearer. Would you recommend? And they defenders you would cull? If you've got too many defenders, so you've got Head, Sheeran, Carney, Cordner, Evans. 1, 2, 3, 4. I would personally, if you could, I'd go stand it down to a rookie. Like I'd go stand it down to Huntington because then you put Scanlon on your defender bench because then your defence is Heads, Sheeran, Carney, Cordner, and Evans. I would then use that cash on top of a rookie in another position or a mid price and go up. That's what I'd prefer to do. I wouldn't go Carney down to Pound and then doing rookie shots. I'd just go stand it down a rookie. I'd go maybe a Nanscorn if you've got her down a rookie and then use that cash and go up to a premium. That's because you definitely have enough cash in that because you're going 850. You got making 550 from going Stannard to Huntington, and then you've at least got 550. And you might make another couple hundred going Nanscorn down. So you could have 700 odd K. So I'd prefer to do something like that. G'day Bales. Go Crows, says Wazza. Yes, mate, go Crows. Morrison or Hoare? I think it's Kate Hoare. I think I would be going Kate Hoare out of the two, but I think both going to be very good. Ginby and Tonic, as I know DC said this in Hatchat's live Twitter space, but mate, love the name, Ginby and Tonic. It's great. But Daisy Darcy or Gab Pound? I think I'd probably... Would I lean to Daisy Darcy, thinking about it? I think last night we were struggling because we thought the two was close, me and Liam, but maybe Daisy Darcy because Gab Pound, Karen Pearce will be back soon. You've got Harriet Cordner back there. A lot, sort of couple extra mouths to feed back there. I'd probably prefer, to go and get Daisy Darcy because she is the number one distributor back there. So that's probably what would side me to her. But I think both are good options. And I think who's cheap out of the two? That's probably a good question. Darcy's 7.9. Yeah, so it's a 37K difference. 47K difference. So hang on. No, 37K difference. I was correct first time. Yeah, 37K difference between the two. So not too much. If you need the extra 30 odd K, I guess Pound could be the option there. But both are good options. I like both. But I think Darcy, I would go just because of probably the security and the fact that you know that she will be the number one distributor back there. Prancing Ponies DT, High Bowls, White Horse or Davy? Go Dons. Who's White Horse? I'm assuming you meant Whitford. I'm assuming that was just there you go. Yeah, what a correction. I'd go Davy out of the two. I'd be picking Davy out of those two. There, I probably have a bit more trust that she'll be able to sort of continue going on and going well. So let me just double check I've answered all these questions here because I don't want to miss any. Try and get to as many as I can. So, so I've got all the ones on Twitter, which is good. We'll go back to YouTube. Is there any since I last checked? We've got a couple. So Sam Lawson, get rid of Darcy Maloney or Sheeran. If Maloney, I get Huntington. If Sheeran, Wackfer. 100%, it's Maloney to Huntington. It's if you're going between the two, it's Maloney to Huntington. Sheeran, I think, will be a top 5 defender, and you're getting the better rookie by going Maloney down to Huntington. So for me, it is Maloney to Huntington. But if you go Maloney, I'd prefer to go up personally. But I guess you're probably getting Bowers, I'm assuming. So going Maloney down to Huntington probably gets Bowers. So I prefer to do that. Swiss chips, is it worth getting rid of Benici for Bowers with $0 in the bank, or getting rid of Swanson for Bowers with 157k in the bank? Very stuck on with this Bowers trade. I think about it now, it probably is Benici out, just because I think Swanson's probably the one that's more likely to finish as a top 5 midfielder by the end of the year. I know Benici has looked good though. That's the thing that probably makes me a bit nervous about trading her, is the fact that round one she had a big first half. Second half she slowed down, but I think that was just due to the fact that it was her first game back. Last week had a very good first half again. Second half was solid as well. Had a quiet third quarter, but still got the 100. I think she's just going to get better and better each game she plays, like returning from injury. So I wouldn't want to trade really either out, but I know you're getting Bowser, so you've got to go one. So it probably is Benici, but it is tough. It is a tough decision because you've got to cull a midfield that you'd otherwise prefer to keep. So yeah, so we've got a couple more minutes to go, guys. So make sure you send any last questions. If you are enjoying the Twitter space, like it on like the actual space on Twitter. Also, make sure you leave a like on the video on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, we are up to 1296 subscribers. We're 4 away from 1297. So someone did actually subscribe. So appreciate the legend that did that. We need 3 more subscribers to get to 1,300. So make sure you guys subscribe and leave a like and all that good stuff. So Leon, Rowbottom and Anthony, or Bree, Dave and Shearer? For me, it's Bree, Dave and Shearer, because you're getting 2 better scorers combined. I know Rowbottom's the better player out of them, but I'd rather Shearer over Anthony. Shearer's got the better role, so I'd be doing that. Connor, has Pope been named? I'm unsure about that yet. It is just ticked over to 5 p.m. Eastern, so I guess we'll find out hopefully now. That would be ideal. The good thing is I don't have to lock in. I don't think I've got to lock in these trades because it's a rolling lockout. I don't have to lock in these trades right now, which is okay. So I'm not too fussed. Actually, I'll just refresh the page just in case I've done a mistake with any of my team at all. But I'll keep refreshing and see if we can get sort of word if she has. But if anyone is sort of got those teams there or has found a way to find them, make sure you sort of let us know if Caitlin Pope has been named for Port, because she's the rookie there. So I'm just making sure everything in my side is sorted. So Evans, yep, Marinoff VC, yep. Oh, that's done. The only thing is, Aaron Hoare actually, I can't put Aaron Hoare in my yep. So it looks like everything's sorted for me. So hopefully we can find out if Pope has been named there. I think I've answered. Actually, no, I missed one here. Actually, no, I said that one for Smith Chips there. So I reckon I've answered all the questions that are there. So I don't see any more coming through. I think we're just waiting. Damon said Pope has been named. So there you go. So for people wanting to bring in Caitlin Pope, she's been named for Port Adelaide to make her debut. Yeah, there you go. So the benches: Anderson, Vesely, Guttridge. Actually, no, I should just say who hasn't. So Caitlin Pope's been named on the bench. DeMello, Dersma, and Kirk, and then Burke, Pinchin, and Dillon are on the emergencies. So Jeremy Anderson's also another rookie there. It's been named. You could look at her. Good thing is that Initari's been named, so it's good for what's her name, Erin Phillips. That if there's any sort of if anyone's a bit afraid that she might not be playing as much midfield, I think she'll be fine. For West Coast Carlton, Smith, Lakai. Oh, Lakai's been dropped. Wow, okay, that's interesting. So Lauren Wackfer, who's been named to make her debut, is named as the solo ruck. Is she I'm assuming she's thrown. So she's a 330. Sorry, and I said she hasn't played a game yet, but she has though. says 0 games on here, but she dropped. She played last week. She got 20. No, she got 30 and 23. But solo ruck 313k, something to watch out for. That's for sure. But yeah, so and then Schilling, and then Finn Fitzgerald and Lee also out of the side. Collingwood Gold Coast. You've got Barber, Evans, and Blair, and then Meyer, Bush, and Mora are the ones that haven't been named for their sides. Then the final game, Brisbane and Sydney. On the bench, the ones that haven't been named is Smith, Powger, and Wendland. And then Anthony Higgins and Paige Shepherd are the ones that haven't been named. So if anyone was looking at a McCarthy, she's now been named on a wing. So she'll be an interesting watch this week. I'll see how she goes. I'm still going to go for a Caitlin Pope instead. So actually, because it's a rolling lockout, should I lock in my trades now and stuff it? Yeah. So it's just a rookie shuffle. So, and I think, and I can still do that in case. So Swanson out. And then Bowers. So our trades are set. So we're good. And then I don't think there's any last minute questions that I have missed. So no, it doesn't look like it, which is good. So glad I got to everyone's questions today, which has been good. So, but yeah, appreciate all of you guys tuning in as always. If you did enjoy it, make sure you, as I said, leave a like on the Twitter space or subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video on YouTube. If you are enjoying the content, and it hasn't put Bowers captain, yes, it has. Okay, good. But yeah, make sure you got, sorry, that's what I was going to say, buddy. Sorry, got 100 things going through my mind just before we head off. But yeah, make sure you tune in on Sunday night. Me and Tom will be back for our round review, our round recap. So make sure you guys tune into that one. That's always a lot of fun as we cover all the 3 formats. So it's not just game day squad, it's also official and Rose Magic. So make sure you guys tune in to that one. Good luck for the weekend, guys. Good luck with your trades, and I hope you have a good weekend, guys. And yeah, we'll catch you on Sunday night. Thanks, guys. Cheers.